Alibaba is one of my biggest holdings in my portfolio, and slowly but surely, I think the stock price will be rewarding me. And as we can see, close to a 5% move today. So we're going to discuss why this is, the bullish sentiment around Alibaba, what my price prediction is, as well as the technicals and where I think it's going in the long term. Welcome back to another video. My name is Adam. On this channel, we talk about everything related to finances, stocks, cryptocurrencies, as well as me revealing my portfolio. So please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel if you're interested in learning more. So Alibaba, one of my biggest positions, at least by book cost, I spent $2,400. The only one that comes close to it is I spent $2,300 on Verizon. This is a 5G play for me, as well as a big dividend payer. And I'm still down by 5% on this position, although I am not worried and I'm holding Alibaba for the long term. Thankfully, my portfolio is still in the green even after I sold some big winners earlier in the year. And I have 10 shares in this portfolio. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot of money to me right now. And of course, I'm not worried. I think that this stock should be trading at like $500, I mean, even right now, based on the valuation, which we're going to be looking at. And then I just have one more share in my Wealthsimple portfolio, if it will pull up. I don't know why it's not pulling up, but basically I have one more share in Wealthsimple and I'm up by about 4% there. So yeah, why did this move happen in Alibaba today? Well, one, I think there's a reversal in the bear sentiment seen in Alibaba stock lately. If you're looking at the 6-month trend, I mean, you can see that this stock has traded like as low as, again, $220, even $206 back in May. And there's a lot of fears about the antitrust and anti-competitive, anti-monopolistic cases against Alibaba. And this has severely pushed the stock price down. It was back like $270 in February. And as we can see, it's taken a beating, down by 23% to its lows, and since then it made a bit of a nice recovery, up by 10%, close to 11% since then. One, I think the major bullish sentiment is China is going to be the world's biggest economy by around 2028, and online commerce is a huge part of China's future. And of course, Alibaba, being basically the Amazon of China, has a huge e-commerce presence, and so of course Alibaba will profit from this. All right, and just some multiples to get your mind blown. So for example, the price to earnings ratio right now is 27, which by itself is not necessarily cheap. It just depends on how much Alibaba is earning. But you go into their forward price to earnings ratio, which takes into account what they're expected to earn, and their forward PE is 19. And this is for a company, just wait a minute, this is for a company that's growing 30% in the current year. That's 40 analysts estimate that they're going to be growing revenue by 30% in the current year, 2022, I guess, so that's next year, and 20% in 2023. Oh, I don't know, my video paused there. So these are double-digit growth numbers, and usually you don't see a company trading at a forward price to earnings multiple of below 20. Right now, the average S&P multiple is around 30, and I can tell you most companies in the S&P 500 are not growing by 30% next year and 20% in the year after that. So, I mean, that's definitely something to reckon with, and I do not think Alibaba should be trading at such a cheap multiple. Of course, you could say that there's a lot of uncertainty when you're dealing with Chinese companies, especially with the Chinese Communist Party, and sure, I would agree to that. But on the other hand, still, I just think that China doesn't want to meddle into fast-growing companies like Alibaba too much, because that would hamper their economy, and they do not want to do that. So I still think that there is a really good investment thesis to invest in Alibaba. Of course, we can see right now the green candle above the 50-day moving average in purple and above the 20-day moving average in orange, and closed above the Bollinger Band right here, which is two standard deviations above the 20-day moving average, and we can see this nice little reversal fishhook pattern, and I hope that this can continue, and I think it will. But I mean, right now the RSI sitting at a 67, so if you want to buy in that at this price point, I still think it's a really good deal long term. But short term, maybe if you're a more cautious investor, you should wait until you see the price settle down and not be at, not invest after a 5% move. That's if you're cautious. But if you're in it for the long term, it doesn't matter if you get it at $250 or $220. I think this baby is going to above like 500 in the long term easily, okay, just based off of their growth. And as we can see, I think part of the reason why people were concerned in Alibaba is, well, one, they had to pay a fine, which caused them to miss analyst expectations. And so they got $1.59 in earnings instead of $1.72, which was the estimate. So they missed earnings in one quarter. But I mean, once they had to pay a one-time fine. Now they're all over it, and they can continue to grow. Okay, and just look at the nice revenue growth from 250 billion in 2018 to 717 billion in 2021. That is really nice revenue growth, and they're investing in the earnings a lot back into their business, especially their cloud computing side. And I mean, this is just like clearly very similar to Amazon. So Kevin O'Leary even said, if you're invested in, let's see if this is, oh no, it's still bad. If you're invested in Amazon, you should be invested in Alibaba as well, okay? And there's a lot of hype now, of course, in Alibaba, a lot of people viewing the Yahoo Finance thread. And this article right here is stating Alibaba can get back to $300. By Stephen Ferrioli. Sorry, I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. So the Chinese economy is expected to become the world's largest economy by 2028, and more than 500 million people will be part of the middle class by the end of the 2023. So that's another huge bullish indicator, is that the middle class in China is rising, which means more people in China will have more money to spend on online shopping. And so Alibaba will experience tailwinds from individual and businesses spending more money during this period of growth in China. And Alibaba is a dominant force in cloud services in China, which could become a significant revenue growth machine as the economy expands. And this move hasn't been limited to Alibaba, as we can see here. Baidu stock, which is basically the Google of China if we're comparing American to Chinese companies, but now it's more focused even on autonomous driving, and I think is the first company to have an autonomous taxi on the roads in Beijing. This company also had a nice 4% move up today. So maybe there's just in general more of a bullish sentiment in China and Chinese stocks right now. But I mean, again, just the price to earnings ratio of 9, that's just like, that's ridiculous for a fast growing company. Okay, let's just look at the statistics, see what the forward PE is. Forward PE of 17, so they're actually expected to lose money, but even a lower forward PE than Alibaba. And let's just see what analysts expect for revenue growth. And they're expected to do 21% revenue growth in the current year and 15% revenue growth in 2022. So, I mean, like, you can't get better deals than this. I'm actually also invested in Baidu. I think I have like 2 or 3 shares in that in my Wealthsimple account. And again, part of the bullish sentiment, I think, is also Chinese consumers are back. So the National Bureau of Statistics said that the first quarter retail sales were up by 29.6%, which is even stronger than the economy as a whole. So again, just like there's all these numbers pointing to a bullish comeback in Alibaba, in Baidu, etc. So I mean, I think now is a perfect time to be invested in Alibaba and Baidu. Of course, I own those 2 stocks, so as a total disclaimer, and don't listen to me, do your own due diligence before buying and selling stocks, and note that these are more risky plays, especially since they're part of the Chinese economy, which is always a bit more unpredictable. But yeah, I mean, in the past 5 years, this company has only grown by, its share price has only grown by less than 200%. And for how fast this company is growing, again, I just think it's unnecessarily beaten down. And it's still like, still 26% off of its highs. But I expect a really nice recovery in the long run. So let me know what you think on Alibaba stock. Again, please feel free to join the Discord group where we talk about stocks and cryptos. and all my moves that I'm making, as well as feel free to, of course, join the channel. That helps me out, and subscribe to my Patreon if you would like to see my buys and sells in real time. So yeah, take care, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.